Welcome to the Vibrant Living Network. Have you ever wondered what is possible beyond possible? What is the thing you've been wondering and inquiring about? Are you just feeling stuck and don't know why? Are you thinking or are you seeing? Seeing allows us to expand and have this other experience. We want to invite you for that wake-up call. We want to invite your spirit, your soul, so to be more alive, more connected. Glenn Brooks has been a life coach for over 33 years, author of Divorced to Patterns, Not Each Other, an explorer of what is possible. He has worked with people all around the world. Join us for a wake-up conversation, a dialogue with you. We will have some of the most interesting contributors. We will be talking to some of the most interesting people and have some of the most resourceful teachers, wisdom-filled people from around the world join us. Share your voice, ask the questions, become free of the known into a new world of possibility. We are going to talk about all the things you wonder about: how to live, how to heal, how to connect, how to love, how to be seen. Your life is precious. Enjoy it.
Thank you. I'm always excited about who these interesting people are going to be. By the way, welcome. Blessed holidays. I'm Glenn Brooks, and I am a demonstrator, not a teacher. So one of my teachers, I guess he was a demonstrator, said to me once that it's really relevant to become a demonstrator. Don't just teach it, live it, breathe it. So vibrant living is a way of life. And we can only exist in one of two states. One is our vibrant state. And what we usually learn is the counterfeit state, rules, regulations. We kind of lose that vibe, that energy. Just so some of you know, my nicknames around the world, one is Velvet. One of my nicknames as a vibrant speaker, Velvet. And the second one is Trust Alchemy. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go around. We've got an amazing panel today. The first part of our format is going to be at Vibrant Publishing, how you could become a vibrant author. I had my life transformed by authors, all kinds of authors around me, always. I brought my own books to school because the books they gave me were way too boring to read. They put me to sleep. But I realized it wasn't the books. I'm sorry, it wasn't they were dead books. So I found a lot of books and brought them to school. All right, we're going to do an introduction of all these vibrant, wonderful team members. Let's start with you, Honorable Kevin. Destiny has it that we're working together on the Vibrant Authorship Program, Vibrant Voice Program, and somehow I feel Carnegie Halls is strongly connected to us. So why don't you say hello and welcome. Say hello. Welcome.
Hello. I'm happy to be here today.
Hi, Kevin.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Well, she calls herself my healer. She calls herself a doctor who has healed herself many times. Dr. Heal herself, or himself. She lives her message. She's the beloved general here on Vibrant Living, Dr. Gail Randall. She hung out at UCLA as a professor, and she decided to practice the deeper medicine. The deeper medicine is going beyond just the outer words and mechanical information. She does live a very soulful life. I'm honored to have our family member in general, Dr. Gail Randall, once again. How was that?
Thank you.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't call myself anything, and I've always had the deep healing, even when I was at UCLA. That's where it's all started. So thank you anyway.
You're really welcome.
Move into the growing when I left, yes.
And I want to thank, on the invisible realm, I want to thank Dr. Valerie Hunt, who connected us. I still love you so much, Valerie, to this day, deeply. Genius in the world. Scientist and really an investigator of the true stuff about energy healing. Is it real? And amazing human being. Okay.
You made it real.
She did make it real. God, love you, Valerie. I also want to just thank today, and he just passed away. Part of my work with people is all around imagery, that we must bring our new lives around with imagery. The imagery we have is passed to us sometimes from a graven image, a darkened image. The imagery that we hold in our hearts blossoms a new message of wisdom and wonder. And when I met Gail, it opened a level of imagery. So imagery is one of the deepest medicines. We'll get into that today. Jen Rose with us. She turns out to be a red hot. Oh, I just did it, Gail. I'm sorry, Jen. I called it red hot when I had it down. She is a red hat qigong. A red hat
But you know what?
qigong.
Right. She is red hot.
Thank you. Thank you, Gail.
Sizzling.
God, that was so great. God, that was so good. You covered me so well. I feel so honored. Wow. I love being covered just like that. Please, anybody, always cover me. I was just about to get thrown under the bar mitzvah, and you walked in and said you were an associate rabbi and blessed it. Thank you.
The red hot.
Well, that was quite a welcome. Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you. You're deeply welcome. So say a word. Welcome to, say hello to people.
Well, hello.
What's your hey for the day?
What's my what for the day?
What's your welcome for the, what's your quick word for the day, your rap word?
My rap word.
Yeah, you're a rapper too, I think.
Well,
aren't we all rappers today?
Red hot, sizzling qigong, right?
That's why she's my general. Yeah.
No. Red hot. Now I'm saying it. Red hot qigong is it's a beautiful process of release. It's an amazing healing modality. It really helps people shed layers that are holding them back and step into their inner beauty and strength. I really like to compare it to what acupuncture does for the physical body, qigong does for the soul, and I'm really looking forward to this show and
me too.
Sharing this interaction between Allie and I.
Wonderful. Welcome, Allie. Thank you, Jen. Thank you. Welcome, Allie.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we've been hanging out forever.
Louder.
Can you hear me? Good morning.
There you go.
Yes. Good morning. There we go. Well, I want to joke with you immediately. Welcome, Allie. Wonderful hearing your voice. So, Allie, in a little bit, I'm just going to say Allie's going to be our featured vibrant story of the day. So what I said earlier, we actually have two stories. We have our counterfeit story, right? And then we have our vibrant story. And sometimes we step into the world of vibrancy. All kinds of interesting things happen. Our cells change, our breath changes. But it's hard because the formula is such that there's pills recommended. There's a lot of suppression often, right, in the formula, the medical formula. The idea is to get people back to normal. Well, Allie had an experience working with Jen Rowe and Red Hat Qigong, I just got through it, of awakening to this other level of real health after a traumatic brain injury. And we're gonna do an open panel with her. Have I welcomed everybody who's on the panel? We got the General, Allie,
the dog
Jen,
mystic.
The dog mystic. Thank you so much. Well, okay, good. Thank you so much. So initially, Sherry Marquez wasn't from this planet. She was from a planet of mystics. And there was a certain section of the planet she was on that catered to animals and helping animals arrive to this planet safely, nurtured, well, so they could stay in their human homes forever and not have all this craziness of the humans projected upon them. She is officially the dog mystic. Her new book forthcoming is called Being in Deep Tune with Your Dog, be in deep resonance with your dog. I'm adding a little to the title. How to be in deep tune with your dog and go past conventional methods. So she'll be joining us today. We're going to do a segment. Well, Kevin, I want to have you go first. Oh, go ahead. Was someone speaking? Oh, I'm sorry. I totally. I'm always a good tango with you. Please say something. I'm sorry, Sherry.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm very happy. So, welcome.
Did you catch my two nicknames? I told you that I have audiences have two nicknames for me. So, do you remember? Did you hear the two nicknames? Sherry? This is an open quiz. You could win a vacation in New York City and meet Kevin or something. Okay. It's Velvet and Trust Alchemy.
Trust Alchemy.
Velvet,
like
Trust Alchemy, yeah. All right, cool. I'm going to go with that one. So I had the honor of meeting Kevin fairly recently with Kevin and Innocent Associates. So I want to just say my introduction to writing and authorship. Because now we have a program where you could become an author, not just an author, you become a vibrant author. So what does it being a vibrant author mean? It means you're someone that has always on some level felt you could change the game. You could go beyond convention and make contributions and help people innovate work that contributes to their vibrancy. Whether you're an eye surgeon from Ohio, you're a yoga teacher, you've always had a sense as a way to bring vibrancy and wisdom to people. and you haven't known or you felt in your heart you wanted to write a book, because the author process itself wakes you up to different aspects of yourself, and an expression that maybe a lot of people told you to go away from, right? They encourage you not to write a book or get back to seriousness. It's a big mantra in the culture. Be serious and work. So Vibrant Authors, the whole year of the program, and joining with Kevin. By the way, Kevin's published and he's helped people get to all the major publishers. He's had many years in publishing. He's worked with many former New York Times writers and bestsellers, and so he's on our team. So, boy, Kevin, I'm just psyched to work with you, and I'm happy because I kind of stumbled. I want to ask you how you got into publishing and being a publishing agent and that sort of thing. I met Tony DeMarco, a fashion model, I want to say between 18 and 19. Up until then, as I said earlier, I was bringing my own books to school. So I would open up my social studies book and I'd put a book in by Dr. Paul Bragg, who opened the first health food store in the country, who was affiliated with the world's biggest publisher in New York City at the time, Bernard McFadden, these people became in my life so significant. So I met this fashion model, Tony DeMarco. I met her at a trade show in New York, and I was about 18 and 19. And she gave me her phone number. So in the old days, as you guys know, who are past 15, there wasn't cell phones. So anyway, I called her up. She said, "Glenn, come to my apartment. I want to speak to you about what we could do together." And I never had done this before, but it emanated. So I go to her apartment. I remember there was one moment she was changing a light bulb, and I was so in awe of Tony. Tony's story was, as a model, she got really desperately ill from the cosmetics of the industry. And she told me she had to get out of that industry. And somehow when she spoke to me as she was standing on that chair changing the light bulb, I knew there was something about this as a contagious message. And I just said to her, "I want to bring people and design a seminar with you." And no one in high school told me to do this. None of my relatives, no one. And I brought some friends of mine. I brought Lucia, who was very close with me, and then Vincenza, her sister. It was just three of us. And that was my first seminar. And that was the first time I guess you could say I made money putting something together around a vibrant message. So my vision with Kevin was to publish books and expand this, and work with a whole vibrant community. Because the other thing that I've noticed is when people get together, it energizes. In other words, vibrant authors get together, it energizes it. So we have a beautiful, beautiful place just outside of New York, right by the Roosevelt State Park. You know where that is, Kevin? Roosevelt State Park, Tarrytown? You do? Mm-hmm. That's how I survived going to New York. I go to the Roosevelt State Park. So we're going to have weekends, and we're going to build our community. And gee, Kevin, share something now. I want to transition in a little bit and open up this story, because it turns out Allie is writing a book, so I think it's great. So share something. How did you get into publishing? How did you get into this? I got into it really meeting Tony, designing a course, and then realizing that publishing was being an author was my whole life. I just didn't know it. And then I got around a whole bunch of other authors in radio, by the way, because authors would tell me, this is interesting, Kevin and guys, that they couldn't get their books out there. A whole bunch of people became famous were saying the publicists didn't get their books. So a lot of vibrant authors couldn't get their work out there. But I felt the energy and quality of vibrancy and would work with them and help them with their new title and a whole bunch of stuff. So I entered out of just associating with people, and when they would come on my show, and I wasn't doing interviews, I was doing this ongoing dialogues, they would say to me stuff. What was your story? What was your vibrant journey into publishing?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
So, my journey into publishing is a lot different than most people. I actually came from an academic background, and I was studying literary theory and philosophy, and I was actually on a PhD track. I was going to be a professor eventually. And, I started getting into tutoring and editing, and I kind of started my own business while I was in grad school. And I really started to love that work, just editing material and helping, at that point it was all academic, but just helping people think through their arguments and how they're expressing themselves and what they were trying to say and defending it, with good, with good reasons and sources. So anyway, that kind of grew into a bigger company. I came out of the PhD with a master's, and started to just, continue working with the company. And then, a couple publishers reached out to us. They really liked what we were doing, and wanted us to we had a bunch. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be a grad school at Harvard, and I hired all my really much smarter than me colleagues at Harvard to be on the company. So,
Brilliant.
So it was great because they had all these really smart PhD track English majors who really had no really great. It's hard even if you're at Harvard. It's still hard to get a great job, when you're studying English or lit theory. So this provided a great way for them, to do some work, and then at the same time, these publishers and they were really loving having these these English PhDs editing their books, and I immediately fell in love with working with books and working with bigger ideas and longer manuscripts, than like a 50-page thesis. Really getting into a nice, and it's also something that was one thing that wasn't connecting with me in academia was that everything was getting very, like, once you get to that level of critical theory, everything is very, well, let's just say it's not something that you really bring up at a dinner party, and talk about for a while. It's all, philosophy and very, it really gets down to, it's not stuff that really is inspiring and, but books are quite different than that. I mean, they're really something that connects with a broad audience and is something that is interesting and something that really can have, a lot of power to a lot of different people, and can break out in a really big way. So I really fell in love with that whole dynamic of the book industry. And one thing led to another after that. And I broke the company into different pieces, and I went over with this company where we just focused on books, really helping authors. And one thing that we really found early in the process is that so many people, even great writers, even writers who have written and published before, really struggle with breaking into the industry and getting their next book published or getting their first book published. And there's a lot of mystery of how to navigate this industry and who all the players are and which ones to trust and not trust, and what, how to self-publish, how to do a hybrid, how to do a traditional publisher. Like, there's so much. It's a complicated industry, and we really, really found our niche in just helping people through that whole process and giving them a trusted source to both from a content standpoint, editing or writing material, helping them with developing their books, as well as navigating the whole industry and figuring out what the best way, what's a good strategy to really get your book out there and achieve your goals for your message.
So, welcome to the Vibrant Living Network. I want to welcome all my friends in Colorado, including Karen Corona, Karen K, as they call her. I told her when she started using Karen K, it was like, oh, she became like a movie star. So Karen's someone that does all this interesting yoga work and teaching people to practice abbreviated forms so they could do it in 3 or 4 minutes a day. We were talking about in our lives that are filled, we need practices that regenerate us. So with Kevin, I'm really glad. Kevin's such a smart guy from Harvard. I'm going to have extra clout hanging out with him. So, so my vision is, thank you, Gail. Thank you. My vision here is that everyone who comes on our team has their own national show, and they will write their book in part over a series of 16 to 18 weeks. They'll build a community of people. We'll build their associations and endorsements, because they'll be part of our team, not guests. And there's a way that I put this together that's really come through imagery, and we use imagery with the writers. And you'll be around other vibrant writers and speakers. And some of you will be speaking together at Carnegie Hall. So we have a really cool application process, by the way. That's a lot of fun. So even if I'm in a hallway. I'm in a Christmas massive craziness. I'm kind of in the back of a restaurant. They said go in the back, kind of thing. So I'm in the back, which is one of the fun things of being a vibrant travel journalist. I travel for free. It could be a benefit for you guys. So. You know what I want to do, Kevin? And we have Sherry Marquez. We're going to come back to Sherry, who wants to write this book, who's writing this book 100% on the dog mystic. I want to talk a little today about the voice of the vibrant writer and the vibrant voice. And what I want to do, Kevin, is I want to do a feature, because really how I got into writing, I started to help people write articles. I started to help people with their books, their titles of their books, and it was like, I wasn't even hanging out at Harvard, by the way, which might have been a good idea. But anyway, I didn't. You did it for me. Thank you. That's the beauty of relational intelligence, by the way, is you can transfer back and forth. All right, I want to tell you this story. It has to do with my relationship with Jen Rowe. Here I go. Red Hat Qigong. I just did it, Kevin. I'm not going to get asked to leave the classroom. And Gail, Dr. Randall, will cover me if I have a mess up again. I love when she stepped in. That was so great. I like the X-Men vibe. We all like these secret powers. So I'm working with Jen Rowe, and she's telling me, so she's basically working with people at this level that some people just revere and some people don't get at all, which is kind of an energy level. Even though Dr. Valerie Hunt, the scientist at UCLA, said, Glenn, people don't get sick at the physical level. They get sick at this other level, emotional, energetic. Some people refer to it as the energy body. Valerie was one of these people that just totally opened. She rearranged. She blessed my life. And now I got Dr. Randall, who's our general thing. Just like at a bar mitzvah and there's too many people speaking, she'll get up and correct things. Thank you. All right. So this person, Allie, she's a person, obviously. Gail, Jen Rowe had told me about her. And I said, well, no, I'd love to set up a call with her because this is how I really got into it. I would meet with remarkable people, Kevin and team. And I would go to see them. And as a result of those meetings, some of the people would say they hadn't had a conversation like this. I had no idea what to do in life. But the conversations and the dialogues I had were very impactful to a chunk of people. Some people totally didn't like me. Could you believe it? But some people were like, wow, that was remarkable, the conversation. So about 6 weeks ago, I go to a wood-fired sauna in the backwoods, a wood-fired sauna at a community. And all of a sudden, Allie's on the phone. She called me. I called her. And I was thinking to myself, a friend of mine had just written a book called Unexpected Healings, Tom Monty. And I was thinking, what is this thing about unexpected healings or healings that are spontaneous? Like, how do they jump the line? How do they jump past what's expected? Because a lot of times, people have a diagnosis or a condition, and we'll have Dr. Randall step in at different moments here. Genius physician. All right. So I start talking to Allie, and I didn't know the extent of her injury. I didn't really know. I knew something happened with her. But as a result of the conversation, I realized she had a severe brain injury. And the neurologist had told her pretty much she would barely function if she took a lot of medications. And that was her first, you could say from a Kabbalic point of view, I'll call that for today's purpose. So they call it the first graven image. So the first graven image is when someone tells you something from a very small paradigm, right? You go to the doctor says, you have this disease, right? They language it. And unless you're going to someone like Gail, that first curse or first disruption is where they give you a fear. I'm honored to say that I was incredibly close with Dr. Nick Gonzalez from Sloan Kettering, who left Sloan Kettering. And he said to me one day that no one dies of cancer. Or on the phone, he's calling me from his home. People are traveling the world to see him. And I said, really? I said, no one dies of cancer? He's an oncologist. And he says, no. He goes, they die of the shock of the diagnostic. So I started to talk to Allie. And all of a sudden, I'm just so moved. So I'm going to welcome Allie. Welcome, Jen. And we're going to open this up, and then we'll have a panel discussion. So I want you guys to be ready with your wisdom-filled questions and comments. Dr. Randall's with us. She's right there in our suits, her magic, with her magic wand. She's right here. All right. Well, welcome, Allie. Welcome, Jen.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having
You
us.
You always seem like me and you were sitting at a picnic on a blanket. You have a very beautiful quality about you, Allie. I noticed that immediately when I spoke to you. And Jen, you're here. So there's so many things, because we had the three of us, Jen Rowe and Allie and I had a conversation. And after the conversation, my body was tingling, and I was moved. Because I realized, and I want to share that with you guys today, there's some things that Allie had said or shared that to me were the hidden signs of healing. They were the hidden signs, not just about a symptom going away, but really about a life transforming, the beginning of a new life. And so when I had this conversation with her, Kevin and Dr. Randall and the dog mystic, Sherry Marquez, and if I missed anybody, please. I could feel it. in this conversation, she had said some things that were profound. So, so you had this injury about 2.5 years ago. It impacted your life, your physical abilities, your ability to, some people would say, function. And so, in a sense, you had a life disruption. What do you want? First of all, deeply welcome, and Jen, welcome. Share with people the beginning of the story that we walked into about 6 weeks ago. What's the beginning of the story for you that you think is relevant for people to know about you and your experience with the brain injury?
I guess you
or transformation.
Off, right, as then 2.5 years ago, I was physically attacked and I received a brain injury from it. So I had physical pain and emotional pain all at the same time. And so I wasn't really ready to hear the diagnosis, like what the doctor was telling me. I wasn't ready just to accept that I wasn't going to feel good ever again. I'm 38 years old and have a 5-year-old daughter and a big life to live, and that just felt really sad to hear that I probably won't recover from this injury. So I was ready to look everywhere to find what I needed to find in order to get to a place of healing.
What was the first, thank you. What was the first sign of healing? And Jen, you could, if you want to come on and say anything. What was the first, well, actually, okay, we're going to take a brief pause. Everybody's going to breathe a little bit. We'll come back. And then we'll ask a few more questions, and then I want to open up to the vibrant panel here. Elisha Precious, enjoy it. Stay with us. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year. Stay with us. I'm Glenn Brooks.
Feed your soul with Waves of Consciousness on OMTimes Radio.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. AscendingHearts.com.
Hello, I'm Sandy Sedgbeer, host of OMTimes Magazine's flagship radio show, What is Going On? My passion is sifting through information, research, and innovations from new thought teachers, speakers, and researchers pushing back the boundaries of what we know about life, energy, metaphysics, and the universe. I love shifting perceptions about who we are, why we're here, and how quickly impossible becomes normal when we open our minds, expand our awareness, and accept that the only limits that exist are those we place upon ourselves. So if you're the kind of forward-thinking, eager investigator of what lies beyond the current reality that most perceive, why not make a date to come play with me in the field of possibilities at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Thursday, and together we can discover what's really going on.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey, a new life, huh? Glenn Brooks, Vibrant Living International. We're talking with Allie, who's a client of Jen Rowe. We're talking about her beginning of her new life, her beginning of her vibrant life, which was beyond time. It was beyond the formula. Jen, why don't you say something? Why don't you say something about your meeting with Jen? So Jen was one of the first people that kind of assisted you on a new beginning, a new vibrant path. So you get all these diagnoses and time-bound comments, or we can call them graven images of your counterfeit life, all the things that would continue in this trajectory. And then you meet Jen. What happens? Give us the first thing about what happened in your reemergence or this new part of your life, health, healing?
I think my first meeting with Jen just opened the floodgates to really assess my injury from a soul healing, and I was able to just really break down the barriers that I needed to really face this head on instead of just listening to everybody else around me. It was the first time that I was ready to step into a recovery mode and not a victim mode anymore and get myself ready to be at a better space.
So I'm going to invite Jen. Again, I want you to join us. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to share 3 things that Ali said that transformed my life, actually, that was significant. And they also, I felt these are vibrant, they're vibrant signals. So Jen, share with me, then I want to open up the panel. I want all the panelists to ask questions and Ali to share. So Jen, what did you want to share about your meeting with Ali in terms of your practice of helping people with this energy Qigong, Red Hat Qigong?
Yeah, when Ali first came to see me, I'd like to say that we had an instant connection, really, which I think always helps when, you're having that healer relationship, because trust is so important when you're working with someone. And Ali just has this beautiful, inner light inside of her. However, it was just, very bogged down with just a lot of, stagnant energy that needed to move. And she was, I think, part of, when we connected and when we worked through the session, it was literally watching this almost unfolding, or this really watching her she has so much self-awareness of what's happening to her on a physical, on a mental, on a spiritual level, that she's an amazing client to work with. And it was just this metamorphosis in one session where it went from, walking in and seeing her just kind of it's almost like describing someone being locked up, to just this shift to where she just was so much brighter and lighter and more vibrant. And she has an amazing ability to articulate how she feels energy move, how, she's feeling on all different levels, and just the ability to connect and really calm her mind. And what's so interesting is that just I feel her refusal to believe what she's told and just know that there's more possibility than what, someone is taking on what someone is saying. It just shows this beautiful strength within to have faith and hope that, there's more out there than, what people will lead you to believe. So, it's been an honor working with Ali and watching her transformation. It's really been a beautiful process.
Jen, and we're going to open the dialogue, let you guys ask questions, comment. Dr. Randall. So I hung out with Dr. Bernie Siegel. He was a New York Times bestseller, and he was an oncologist at Yale. And the only way he'd work with people is his book was Love, Medicine, and Miracles. We were very good friends over the last 28 years. He showed us slides of people because he only would work with them if they drew a picture. So when I was listening to Ali, one of the things she said, so in the pictures, he would tell us the people that healed from cancer. He'd show the picture and say, oh, this woman's fine. She's flying kites and she's good. But he looked at her picture as an example, it's a drawing. And I felt this from Ali. And her drawing, you could see her in her hospital room, there was light coming in everywhere, and her body was totally connected. Some of the drawings from people who passed away, as an example, not all of them, their body was totally disconnected. One of the things that Ali had said, and I want to get the panel on this one, that she felt her legs were burning. So I stopped that conversation. I said, let's let your legs speak to us. What's the conversation in your legs? Because a lot of people in, I'll call it mechanical medicine, they do some good stuff at the emergency level. They don't know how to cultivate vitality. I'll let Gail comment on that, Dr. Randall. So when she talked about her legs burning, I asked her to have her legs speak. But to me, that was a significant healing part of the energy moving. It wasn't about suppression. It wasn't about shutting her body off. It was really about her body coming alive. And so when I design retreats with people, I'm always curious about what are the things that people notice in their bodies. open to the panel now. Anybody could jump in. We got the dog Mystic, who's on planet Earth from another planet. She's here. Sherry Marquez. What's bubbling for you, Sherry?
Well, I believe that it. First off, it's beautiful that, like, the connection that the two of you had right from the start, where Allie, you were totally open to the healing, and Jen, your healing abilities. Just the connection that you both had is beautiful, because you saw the difference, Jen, after the first session. And then Allie, you also felt it, and for sure with all healing, the tingling that people get, or the burning sensations in your legs, were just proof that you were totally open to whatever healing, because you weren't accepting the diagnosis that the doctors were giving you, so it's beautiful. It's a beautiful connection, and it's fabulous to see that you guys are both still working together and going through a whole healing process. So, and I'm so glad that you are feeling good, Allie, and here to share your story. So thank you.
Thank you. Gail, Dr. Gail Randall. Let's go to Kevin. After you, Dr. Randall. What's your medical intuitive feeling here?
Well, I agree with Ted, but I just have a lot of reverence for Jen and her ability to recognize power in Allie. Allie has a very powerful soul, and she spoke and she listened. So when that happened, I call that low-lying fruit, because those they're ready. They go, point, walk this way. And that person is going to follow, and they're going to open and blossom and get what they need from that healing. So I have a lot of respect for Jen and also Allie for allowing that process to occur. It's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing it. In terms of the legs, the legs are our support. So, Glenn, asking her to tune in to her legs, which were burning, you're absolutely right. They were metaphorically talking to her about her physical support. Our bodies are the houses, the temples of our soul. So we need them, right? So we have to continue evolving and healing, and so you called her attention to the body part, the support, the connection with the earth, and that was really something too. So thank you.
Yeah, you're deeply welcome. I want to say in the new year with Jen, and Jen, give out your website in a minute. Jen Rowe, Red Hat Qigong. It's amazing I could do that. I'm gonna have 3 more dialogues. I help people design retreats from all over, and this is a retreat that I'm excited about people coming and experiencing some of this beautiful work that Jen does, and maybe meeting Allie. So I'm going to give 3 more classes with Jen, and we'll have Dr. Randall come back. So they're free. They're present to you into the new year. So if you go on Jen's site, we'll have dates. Kevin, Uncle Kevin from Harvard, the smartest guy. How are you? I'm just curious, how is it bubbling for you? I'm curious how this conversation is speaking to you. Kevin? Which one we got Kevin still, Chris? Oh, I want to say he sends you his love. I guess he did tell me. Okay, all right. So what we're going to do then, Jen, let's go to you. The thing with the legs, and by the way, it's Kevin Anderson and Associates.com. Kevin Anderson and Associates. You can read all about the Vibrant on my site as well. We're going to have a big announcement at the beginning of the year about the Vibrant Author Program and Vibrant Voice. Anyway, the whole thing's going to be out there, and I'll let you know. Kevin Anderson Associates. All right, Jen. You're in the dojo.
I'm in the dojo.
You're in the dojo right now.
what I always like to explain to my clients is sometimes, well, a lot of times, the mind doesn't know how to interpret the movement of energy. And sometimes it can be, pleasurable, sometimes it can be painful, sometimes it can come up in physical ways, and sometimes when you're going through the process of release, it can come out in emotional ways. And Allie has shared this with me, but also Jessie mentioned it on the last show, but she tied in the movement of energy through the legs, representative of you letting things go so you can move forward and walk your path. And I think that's such a profound thing with Allie, and going back to what Dr. Randall said about just how your body is your temple, and when you pay attention to that and can plug into the self-awareness around what is happening, not what your mind thinks is happening, but how your body is actually feeling, and plug into that, it it can take you to another level of being.
Beautiful, thank you. Give out your website, by the way, Jen. Give out your website, because you're going to let people know about our next 3 conversations with Allie on this series on healing beyond the formula. Give out your website.
Jennifer Rowe, ROE, but it's thehealingrow.com.
Thehealingrow.com. Okay. Allie and Jen, would you like to give any? The one I thought both Sherry and Dr. Gail gave some beautiful, beautiful feedback. I want to have you, Allie and Jen, why don't you respond to what Sherry Marquez, our dog mystic, who grew up on another planet, that was sent to Earth to help the animals down here. Any feedback for Dr. Randall or Sherry based on the beautiful? I felt their contributions were significant. Allie, Jen, anything you want to share back based on Dr. Randall's feedback or Sherry's?
I agree with the fact that I was needing to get to a space that I could actually open up to somebody that was ready to work on me and heal me. And so I think our relationship is just amazing. And I think it is a matter of trust and being able to just trust the process, and that it's not going to happen overnight, but the more you keep, persisting and coming to your sessions and doing what you need to do, you are able to get to a really beautiful space.
Awesome. And I'd like to build on that too, because I feel like, in our society, so many times we just do what people tell us we need to do, whether we're ready or not, but it's all up to us, like where we're at and, our ability to be open and our willingness to receive.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gail, Dr. Randall.
Sometimes people can do it in another way. She was very aware and conscious and super good student and ready, and already, I think, an old soul, like knowing a lot in there. When I healed my mother from cancer, she didn't know anything. She didn't even really know what I was doing, but because she loved me, she let me do what I wanted to do. I even made a medicine bag for her. I said, "Mom, will you sleep with this?" And she goes, "Mom." And she goes, "Are you kidding? You want me to sleep with this? It's such a pretty purse." I know. Okay.
It's funny as anything.
Okay. And then I would do hands-on healing with her, and she'd go, "Oh, you want to give me another heat treatment? Okay." So she really wasn't into that, but she received the healing, and honestly, her cancer completely went away. When they took it out, it was gone. It was just a hole. And
that's beautiful.
So it's an interesting another way that you can heal people if they trust you, and it's about love. They don't really have to get it.
So Harvard, I'm sorry, I'm mixing up universities here, colleges. So even though UCLA, the Harvard, should have piped in and said that. So your outer schooling didn't get in the way, because you told me when you were 3 you were communicating with horses, and so you really came in with a different receptacle, a different receiving mode in terms of your ability to actually recognize what healing is. A lot of doctors, my whole path in this life has been meeting doctors who had significant wake-ups. So you're one of them, obviously. So what did I want to say really quick? Sherry acknowledged. No, it's a beautiful.
I was born woke.
Yes.
I was born woke.
Exactly. Yes. That's by the way, that should be your book title. I think you're going to use the other book title, which is what's your other book title? What's your other book title? I think I like Born Woke. Born Woke strongly. I'll go ahead, finish. Go ahead. Soul Doctor.
Soul Doctor. Heal the planet.
I get paid a lot of money to talk. Actually, what do you want me to do? All right. Stop talking as a parent.
Wait, Gail. Can you say that louder? Because I wasn't.
I changed phones and it's on maximum.
Just speak up a little bit. Just speak up your beautiful voice, Gail.
It's not that. It's not Born Woke, but that's the next one. It's Soul Doctor. Heal yourself. Heal the planet.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Right? Hey.
Sherry.
I couldn't hear what Gail just said.
Really? No? You can't hear me on this phone, so something else is wrong.
No, go ahead. It's kind of loud in the background there.
What?
Who could hear? Okay. I see. Thank you, Sherry. You're such a sweetheart. Thank you. You're my environmental. I'm in a restaurant and I walk back into
that's the problem, because they don't hear my voice.
I'm in the side of the restaurant now. What happened was I was traveling this morning and there's massive traffic. So I needed to see my good friends at Bombay Royale who are treating me so well. And a whole bunch of new listeners we have. We got Gail's wonderful Instagram, which is hello all Gail's amazing listeners and viewers of Instagram. And Sherry, Sherry, what I love about you, you have an ear for not just the outer environment, younger or blossoming more vitality, or was it the usual model that you lived and then you died and at some point you had a chronic illness?
Well, I don't know if it was black or white.
I was laughing about that. Yeah.
I didn't know there was only two options, but
well, there's three. There's three options. We'll go back to Gail at some point. We'll go to Sherry now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sorry, you cut out there for a minute.
Okay.
So I'm kind of piecing together what you asked.
Thank you.
No, I guess it was more traditional. You got sick, you went to the doctor,
Yes.
My family was very young, so they, were open to, I guess, more than most, but there was definitely not an openness to, what is healing or meditation or connection. It was, you got sick, you went to the doctor, you took whatever you needed to feel better. And so it wasn't until later on through my experiences and going down my path that I really opened up to what healing really means.
So last week, in a beautiful exchange between Dr. Gail Randall and Sherry Marquez, the dog mystic, the exchange was so beautiful. It was a conversation I was talking about the grids, that we all live in this grid, and that a lot of what illness is about is we get stuck somewhere, we get stagnant on this grid. And so I met this amazing psychiatrist. He gave me a Rottweiler and he basically said to me, Rottweilers could heal stuff no one else could heal. They're amazing dogs. They deal in life and death issues. And then Dr. Randall says to Sherry, a woman came with 3 significant illnesses. One of them was cancer. She owns 3 Rottweilers. And for each Rottweiler, they healed one of her illnesses. So Gail, Sherry asked me about those Rottweilers, and she could contact the person who owns those. I was so touched because, Sherry, what you brought up was a powerful moment because the healing power of dogs is so evident. The medicine they carry is life-changing and transformative. So I kind of bring that back to that moment, Sherry, when you brought that up with Dr. Randall, because I did want to have you two connect around that. Sherry.
Yes, I would love to. Get the woman that you were speaking about and get her her story on her dogs and how she healed and
beautiful.
Add that to the book as well.
When we're not on the air. Call me when we're not on the air because she's almost 100, and of course her dogs are very. She's still with it, but it's sort of like it's a very sensitive area for her, so I'd have to
beautiful
pave the way. You know what I mean? Pave the way. So let me see.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
We'll make that connection, Sherry. And this beautiful. And these are the stories that will be in Sherry Marquez's forthcoming book, the dog mystic, being in deep, deep tune with your dog and opening up to new healing and wonder as you not just try to suppress the dog to some of the craziness that some people project on dogs, but as Sherry so beautifully says, they could say in their forever homes, your home, and you can learn to have more harmony and well-being and this other thing called healing, because that's really what dogs are also about. They're transmitting something that allows us to be more lateral, think less, breathe more. Let's go back to Allie. Allie, give us a wrap-up. What would you want to say? What do you want to leave people with? And what was your experience today sharing about your beautiful story, your healing story?
I would say just never stop looking for that person that can break you out of whatever you're going through. I mean, it took me a while to find Jen, but just having that bravery to just keep looking, and you will find that person that you're supposed to connect with. I think we were supposed to connect, and it happened. It didn't happen right away, right after my injury. I had some time and space that I needed to go through first, and then I was able to meet Jen. So I would say just always be looking for that person that can come into your life and really help you change it.
That's a beautiful message. Thank you.
Yes, that's what life is all about. It's just those perfect moments and those meant to be situations and meetings. So that was a meant to be meeting, just for all the healings that you both have gone through. It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no, I'm loving it. We'll do 3 more parts of this in January. It's going to be our gift to you guys. So go to Jen, and also let Dr. Randall know. Dr. Randall, go ahead and give out your Instagram and your website. I know people will travel the world for you. You're a blessing. I only enjoy the depth of our going past knowing and having a deeper connection. How can people reach you and learn about you and all that kind of great stuff? You're welcome.
It's Dr. Gail Randall at it's drgm Randall at msn.com, and then that's my email. My website is I don't even know what it is right now.
I love you.
My Instagram is Gail Randall.
Life without a script is a powerful life. Life without a script is...
Just write my name, it'll come up.
Okay, cool. We'll write your name. I love it. So we got retreats coming up. We got some new incredible formats, including vibrant matchmaking, beyond dating to relating. We got a whole series on vibrant eating, featuring chefs and cooks around the world, really. And if you're moved and you want to write a one-of-a-kind vibrant book, you want to learn we got upcoming events, 2 speaking events in the new year. Did you want to say something back to the audience, Jen? Like I gave Allie a moment. You want to leave the message of the new year, or at least heading into the new year? What's your message you want to leave people with this week?
Well, as the new year approaches us, I guess it's a beautiful time to go within and figure out, what your next steps are, how you can, how you'd like to move forward in the new year. It's, I've seen so many clients this month that I feel like they've have gone into these cocoons, and they're like battling with that feeling of hibernation, and they're battling with, the holidays and what that brings up for them, and they're battling with what's next. But I always like to tell people to honor that process and to really know that, like, when they come out and when there's this reemergence, that it's always like this beautiful thing on the other side. And so I think it's a perfect time of year to just be aware of that and be gentle on yourself, because we all have so much potential within. We just got to honor that. So
you've been listening. You're listening to. Go ahead, Sherry. Take a minute. Go ahead. What's your message for people?
Just allow the feelings to come in and process it in your own way, and just realize that this too shall pass. This too shall pass, and everything is a learning experience. So
next, we're going to bring Sherry to the East Coast. Oh, she's going to come here to teach some seminars. She's going to be expanding this work. We continue a conversation off the air I want to share with you that I had with Sherry, that was so informative about this whole thing with dog separation, anxiety separation. If any of you want to be in touch with me, I'll give you my direct phone. You're something bubbling when you hear this. 413-345-3747. Vibrant Living Media.
And
Vibrant Living.
SmartCausDogTraining.com.
Thank you. You're great. You're great. SmartCausDogTraining.com.
SmartCausDogTraining.com. Yeah.
All right. Blessings. Love you guys. Have a beautiful day. Happy holiday.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.